Good afternoon, tutor and companions. The topic is teaching English through language skills, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, exposed by Daniel Baldo Sanchez, tutor Ender Suarez Alomia, course research project. Now, title and introduction, objectives, methodology, statement of the problem, authors about this topic, statistics, conclusions. Introduction. The learning of the English language has been influenced through ways so that the student can understand it and also be able to speak it fluency. The teacher of the institutions have looked for ways to understand the English language more easily, among them with reading, writing, speaking, and listening, which are the skills that each one of them possesses and improves with the practice of each of them. This is how we've enabled English to enter us more fluently and strengthening each of these in order to understand it more easily. For the development of the work, the meaning of the study will be taken into account the formulation of the problem, the objectives which will have the purpose to achieve what is wanted to be done is the project, a theoretical framework that will carry important information that will further what each of the speaking skills meaning and how others interpret them about them, and in addition to a survey of different people on how they can interpret English in different life situations. Now, objectives. General. Provide knowledge about communication skill in English in addition to strengthening each of them through observation, survey data, analyze, and also provide them with what is necessary for good learning. Specific. Have different activities that lead to strengthen English skills. 2. Integrate previous knowledge of the population to work and thus analyze the way they understand each one. 3. Motivate them, take into account what has been explained and thus strengthen them then more precisely. Methodology. To begin with, we can say that the population what works with communication skills focus on strength and understanding them in what way. 1. Being able to share concrete and concise information. 2. Understand the people who speak to us in the newspaper. 3. Integrate each of the knowledge they acquire to strengthen them in such a way with activities and practice. 4. Encourage the use of them in order to make the learning of each of them more concise. Next, statement of the problem. Many of the problems that we find in the classroom and also in universities to use speech skills in the proper way. So many authors talk about this topic. We can identify that many of the students see the difficulty of pronunciation as well as the creation of the sentence with the structure that must be had to do incorrectly. Many in the university still find it difficult to fluency when they have a conversation. Authors about this topic. According to Zúñiga, 1989, the way to acquire the basic language skills of the language depends on the method used in the teaching process. The acquisitions of the four language skills occurs in common, although they are referenced separately. Kazani 2003 emphasizes that linguistic skills are not static and no work alone or slot. They develop with each other in multiple ways, and it will always be more beneficial to develop them jointly and equality. SHAP 2012 indicate linguistic skills are those that we all have, but some more than others and that allow us to communicate, send messages, and receive them whatever language internews in this message. Caroline, 2006, reading and writing are skills that constitute vehicles and learning, and so for these reasons it is important that girls and boys develop comprehensive reading and creative writing as a way of expressing their thoughts. Now continue. Graphic. How much do you use to learn the English language? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, never. Now, how it's easier to look up the pronunciation of words. Dictionary traductor. And how is the best to learning English? Grammar, vocabulary, reading. Result of project. Here we can determine on the one hand that English having strengthened in a way or another the learning of skills we can use for thousands of functionalities. In addition, to keep in mind the English language in the world has no longer become something to learn but a necessity since it is impregnate everywhere. In addition to different factors, we can say that according to the Ministry of National Education and everything related to the common European framework, it is of vital importance to seek strategies and tools that seek to learn to knowledge of students and even of the population that comes to or wants to learn the English language. In conclusions, to conclude, we can say that communication skills in English are an important source, since they give us the opportunity to analyze and integrate each of the knowledge that they give us. And another point is that by driving correctly, we can learn to English language and be able to talk with people from other places. Thank you.